Scientists have successfully connected the brains of 3 people and enabled them to share thoughts. That's BrainNet. Look it up on your own time, because today is the ESL Pro League Season 8, day number 7, live at you from the Intel Esports Arena. Today we're getting a double dose of Not As Sincere, and Simple is one to put on a show that you do not want to miss. Either way, I think it's time for us to get right into this action, because today is the day of days. Let's do it.
Down for Nitro, gets the ace!
The only one sees the shadow, gets the shot, gets the follow-up. It's target practice for Fur.
3 players here, Zipex comes through. Astralis, they've done it!
The date is 18th of October, 2018, and, well, you wouldn't think of anybody else to bring this day to you but my friend Chad Burchill, and my name is Trace Ranth. Of course, in case you missed that lower third early on. Today is match day number 7. Chad, are you ecstatic or are you ecstatic?
I think I'm just going to go with excited.
Oh, not you again.
Yeah, we have to really just make sure we emphasize that word as much as possible. But last night was a good night. I actually had a couple dreams. I dreamt that I was drowning in a sea of orange soda. Took me a while to work out it was just a fantasy.
Nice, dude. Nice.
It's like Fanta.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I actually
sea
thought
of Fanta,
for some
drowning in
reason
orange soda.
you were going to go with like Keenan and Kel there. Like, who
No,
loves
man.
orange soda?
Dude, we're referencing Nickelodeon from when we were kids.
Yeah,
That's like 14 plus years ago.
Kind of like the pro career that was of the Spun J. Now,
Whoa.
with that, of course,
Whoa.
going all the way through the major cycles, a guy that has seen it from the very ends of the spectrum. Chad, what are we on the cusp of?
Do you know it's 118 days until the major begins?
I think you do have a calendar. in your room, yeah.
118 days. I'm counting. It's like Christmas. And here's the thing, you know, we already have 14 teams who are locked in for that new challenger stage. You know, we've got the top 8 teams who are already going to be in that legend stage. But we need to find all those other squads, Trace. And how are we going to get there?
Well, you're going to head over to play.esea.net and sign yourself up, because that is how you can compete to try to get into the major. Now, it's going to be a long road for you if you're signing up on the website. And, of course, you're going to have to play a ton of matches. But at the end of the day, it all culminates to the Spodek. Yes, that's right, the once-in-a-lifetime experience to play on the grand stage of a major. Now, Poland has been the home of some beautiful Counter-Strike, Chad, and tell me why that is.
Well, look, I think when you look at this venue, you think about all the fans that turn out in spades. It's a bit of a spaceship look-alike type scenario we've got going on. But more importantly, this was one of the places within the first, 2 years of majors CSGO. They had 2. Katowice had 2, we had Cologne with 2, and these are the type of venues that are iconic when it comes to Counter-Strike and the majors, so it's fantastic that we can return there, and the teams who are already locked on in within that top 8, we've got the likes of Astralis, Liquid, NaVi, Made in Brazil, FaZe, Complexity, Big, and Hellraisers. All of those names are in the ESL Pro League.
And all of those names are something that you can tackle on your path to the major. Like I said, it's going to be a long road. I, for one, don't really want to ride with you in that car ride. It's going to be a long, extenuating process. But the processes that we're here to talk about are obviously powered by the Intel processor, and that would be the matches of today. The road to Odense carries on, and today we do have the likes of FaZe and NaVi kicking us off. A little bit more NaVi action against those Lions in North, and the Danes will go on to play the Ninjas in pajamas, their cousins from Sweden.
Yeah, interesting one over on that secondary stream. No one has really been able to touch Astralis. Obviously, they've dropped a couple maps here, there, and everywhere, but still looking like that force to be reckoned with. So let's see what the new look Fnatic on that secondary stream can do against the top team in the world. As I guess people need to be using either 2 monitors or use a phone with 1 stream, get a tablet, maybe steal your sister's her laptop that she's doing homework on, because you want to be watching all the Counter-Strike action here at the Pro League.
Yeah, Chad, we're not going to endorse people stealing things.
Or buy one of these lovely MSI notebooks.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now we're talking the language. And the language is this. Today's matches look a little bit like Inferno Overpass, Dust 2 Train, and another Train and some Nuke. But perhaps we start to center this around a little bit of Overpass.
Nuke's exciting to round it off.
Yeah, that's a good change of pace, I think, Chad. But how about this? We do have a little bit of a pro tip over on Overpass. We're going to jump right into that. And, well, hey, future pros, time to pay attention.
Hey Future Pros, do you hate it when those CTs push B short? Me too. That's why we have a molly for you today that will stop that exact scenario. First things first, buy a molly. Then line up with the middle of this wall. Aim halfway up on the right side of this radio tower. Then run forward for about 2 steps and throw. Voila, no more CTB pushes.
Vodafone presents the pre-match.
Voila, just like that, I have my cup of Americano because I wouldn't have it any other way. We also have Chad over here on the cappuccino.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the Kappa sign.
You can't really see it, but when this mug gets filled up with hot water, it actually has the Counter-Strike logo.
We're going to put that to the test.
Right now, we don't really have enough coffee in here to make it work, but the coffee's pretty good.
Yeah, nice, man. Did you make it yourself?
No, I didn't.
Okay, cool. Well, let's move on then because we do have FaZe and NaVi to talk about, and this is where things start to heat up a little bit. If you were to tell me these two teams were squaring off a couple months ago, a few months ago, these guys would have been the heavy hitters. These would have been the people you would have wanted to watch in the server at any given Sunday. Yeah,
and NaVi still is. I think FaZe, for different reasons, right? They've dropped off with their consistency of form. They're quite up and down at the moment. Their online results now, it is online. They're not looking spectacular. They're having a lot of close matches. They're having blowout losses. Some of the things to think about with FaZe is where are their heads at in terms of this in-game leadership stuff?
Yes, they have been juggling the whole captainship role over there and who's steering the ship. But that's enough from us. We're going to hear actually how this one unfolds now that Kerrigan is out of the in-game leader role and Nico is in there in his stead.
When you got a star-packed roster like FaZe, you need a world-class in-game leader.
So much in front of him, so many different angles to watch. Finds one kill in the middle, but shut down from long. A nice clean round.
No way. Come on, Kerrigan. No way.
No, he's going to tackle his guy.
Yeah, he's got it. No, he doesn't. Taco! He's too far away.
They've done it!
Oh my God, Kerrigan, that's amazing! That is amazing! He's on his feet! Taco didn't take the right angle! Oh my God!
Finn Kerrigan Anderson might not be the best fragger in-game, but he has led FaZe Clan to multiple big achievements as the captain of the team. Like their dominating ESL 1 New York run in 2017.
All in one position, and Guardian makes it just Nitro to find the flash! And Nico fittingly gets the last kill as FaZe dominate New York in 2017 in the Barclays Center all the way through this tournament.
With star players like Nico, Guardian, Rain, and Olofmeister at Kerrigan's disposal, the expectations for FaZe Clan has always been sky high. That's why the team has always been considered favorites for big tournaments. However, after their New York run, they always seem to fall short in grand finals such as IEM Oakland.
Comes Rez! He takes down Rain behind the smoke, and Get Right closes it!
Pro League Season 6.
He still has a slight chance. A smoke deployed by the terrorists actually gives him a chance to funnel in, but Bolt says no!
The E-League Major and IEM Katowice.
Kerrigan can't believe they've come up shy in yet another final.
For a lot of other teams, the second place would always be considered a success, but for a team like FaZe, nothing but winning is acceptable. That's why there was extra pressure on Kerrigan going into yet another grand final at IEM Sydney earlier this year. FaZe Clan somehow seems to lack discipline and strong nerves when it really matters, so going up against a well-playing Astralis was a big task to say the least. Kerrigan finally got his team to find the lacking discipline though, since FaZe Clan won the grand final with 2 overtime victories and one 16-14 win. It finally seemed like Kerrigan led his star-packed team to a more bright future. But the joy was short. After IEM Sydney, it has gone downhill for FaZe Clan. One bad performance after another led to a change on the in-game leader role. Nico took over Kerrigan's place, and now it's Kerrigan's turn to step up his frag game to the same level as his teammates. A task that might be easier said than done.
Yes, and perhaps they should invest into BrainNet, where they can have 3 of them on the same wavelength, Chad.
All teams need to be on the same wavelength, but this thing with Kerrigan, this happened in the past where the roster, which was the early Astralis that was known as TSM before they made that change and move across to the Astralis brand, the fact of the matter was his teammates in that team lost faith in him as an in-game leader. Now, the same thing is repeating itself here in FaZe Clan, but the problem is Karrigan is a fantastic in-game leader, and I don't think that they should be treating him in this regard. I was actually reporting live on the scene at the FaZe Major as I heard the communication from the teams through the barricade, tried to break the news to everybody to just be, I wanted to get on the front page.
So basically, you're the gossip queen.
Yeah, man. Someone's gonna do it.
Chad Spud Burchill is the gossip queen.
If there was a gossip girl of Counter-Strike, it's probably me. But fact of the matter is, these guys should, eventually go back to having Karrigan in-game lead, because he is a good in-game leader. He could have that strat base, he could make all those things. At the moment, it's Nico, apparently, unless things have changed again, we don't actually know, who's actually making the calls. But a lot of this stuff is just going to be Karrigan's strategies. The thing is, does Nico have, the staying power if his individual performance dips to continue with being the in-game leader of this team?
Well, I think there's also that entire period where, yes, they had found success, people started to study them, and then they were kind of figured out. So perhaps, yes, on Karrigan, it's perhaps on his back to reinvigorate or change the whole approach to the game.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why they're deciding to keep him.
Well, having a break, from the in-game leadership role is also a really cool thing. If you can actually take that time, step back, someone else can grab the reins. During online games, you can actually spend more time focusing on your own game and coming up with new ideas that will lead you into the future. And that's something that they're going to need to do and hope to do if they want to return to being a top 5 team in the world on a consistent basis.
And starting with the likes of Nodus and Steer, of course, their matchup tonight, they have 2 maps on Inferno and Overpass. We're going to begin to discuss a little bit of the Inferno plan here from FaZe and perhaps what we should expect.
Yeah, well, if you just look at the results from FaZe so far this season, they've already played 14 games, which is quite a lot when you're thinking we're only getting to that halfway point right now. They lost to Astralis in their opening game. They were 2-0'd in that series. Against G2, they were splitting maps. One of the maps they lost was Inferno. They went through to 2-0 Wendigo, 2-0 the likes of Ago. Those are opponents who they should be toppling. Split the series with Space Soldiers, the map they lost, Inferno. You look at the game against Fnatic, they're actually able to pick up the map of Inferno, lost Mirage. And then against Big, they split the series as well. So right now, things aren't looking fantastic for FaZe, and some wins tonight, whereas they're looking at 8 wins, 6 losses, is going to be much needed. So splitting the series with NaVi here is a must.
A must. At the very minimum, splitting the series. Now, we've talked about FaZe, we've talked about NaVi, and perhaps we can highlight some of these names of these teams, because this is a pretty big deal when you think about the firepower on either side of this one, Chad.
Yeah, well, this is the type of match that you want to watch at any LAN event, right? This is the reason that we have so many explosive types. You can see here, as we've been talking about time and time again, Simple, the god of the game, and newly in tow, Demigod Electronic, who last night in their games, especially on Dust 2, was having a huge impact. Flamey's been stepping up to the plate as well. Edward and Zeus with consistent performances now is making this NaVi roster the top 3 contender, and that's how they made it to the grand final of the FaZe Major not long ago.
Chad, you know how sometimes you get into like a matchmaker, some sort of like pug environment, and you get some guy on your team and he's just like, yeah, you're doing it all wrong. And he thinks he's God's gift to the game. Well, God's gift to the game is actually simple. I think it's pretty simply put.
Yeah, you couldn't say it any better.
And I won't, because in fact we're going to start talking about Inferno and what we can expect from the NaVi side.
Yes.
In regards to this NaVi lineup, we do know that they had that little bit of a falter at the major, and then they've taken a little bit of time back, but I'm not sure what to expect with them.
Well, when we saw them come out, they were looking very, very good within their opening day. They won the first 4 matches they played. Last night they played 2 more. They split the series last night, so they're sitting right now on 5 wins and 1 loss. That's a stark contrast to the 14 games that FaZe have played. They've only played 6. So tonight we will be grabbing another 4 games for the NaVi squad, and hopefully they can continue that performance. But one thing to note, no matter the map, no matter the circumstance, these guys love to go for the 4 spires. They love to get the AKs up, get the preferred weaponry in the hands of Electronic and Simple, and they can make magic happen time and time again. This is the type of playstyle that NaVi have adopted in recent times, probably the last 6 to 8 months, where it's really just make sure you can keep the pressure on the economy of your opponent, and they do that by allowing their stars to have the weapons almost every single round to find frags.
Now, Chad, there's another important element to this, and of course it's us bringing in our commentators, which we have done slowly but surely. The important element to me is kind of where this NaVi lineup can find their consistency, right? We do know that they've been plagued with a little bit of a maybe even internal beef within certain times. But if you're not smoking the peace pipe, Chad, you're smoking the beef pipe.
I think that time has probably passed. We know that they can be very volatile on the server. They do love a good argument from time to time, but that's just the way that these guys function. They're like that relationship that, you know, where the couple fights all the time, but at the end of the night, they're all kissy, kissy, lovey, lovey, right? This is the same with this squad. Now, in terms of consistency, when you rely so much on your stars to find frags and you're setting them up time and time again, that consistency is a hard thing to find because you do need them to be converting the kills, or otherwise your strats basically fall apart.
Chad, I want to paint a picture for you, right? Now, we're going to be jumping into Inferno, and there's no parks in Inferno. But imagine riding home on your bicycle at 2 o'clock in the morning from the studio.
Okay, I'm going.
And you hear, hey, is that Trace? And you look to your right, and there are two guys hanging out in the park going over their day's broadcast, rewatching it on their cell phones.
Oh, boy.
And I kid you not, it was the smallest picnic table I've ever seen in my life. And Hugo fit just right in there. Guys, let's talk a little bit about that and this matchup of Inferno.
The second I saw you, I knew this would come up on broadcast, right?
You had to have known.
Not a better place for it.
Yeah, you know us. We love to put in the time. We love to put in the work. We're around all hours of the day, Trace. And even though we didn't have the mobile transport like you know, we would have really appreciated a bike. But yeah, we had fun.
Well, you guys can get a bike from the hotel. That's what we did.
Yeah, we couldn't be bothered.
Can I just point something out?
Yeah,
we
man.
look like we could easily just walk onto the set of Seinfeld, which for most people who don't know was a comedy shot a very long time ago, and we would fit in. Look at us. This bloody guy down here is Kramer. We got our George. You're right. Yeah.
I can see that.
I think he's more Joseph with his Technicolor coat over here than anything.
Hey, Harry, don't let him talk about you like that. Talk to me about Inferno, man. Why is this NaVi versus FaZe game poised to be the most exciting game, Harry?
Well, you know, both teams, they've looked good on this map, Trace, for the most part. You know, you look over at FaZe, they had a win versus Fnatic here, and then you think back to yesterday. I think it was NaVi beating NIP on this one. It might have been day one. But I think it's going to be exciting just because NaVi, as Chad was saying, they love a force buy, right? It's been exciting. It's been exciting to watch them play. Both these teams at a turbulent time, they're both kind of seeing who is, you know, in that top 3 spot, right? Because I think, you know, it's still up for grabs between NaVi and FaZe. I'm not fully sold on NaVi being the second best team in the world right now.
I think they're third at the moment,
Yeah,
and
well,
Liquid
you know.
a second.
Well, even if you think about it in terms of 1, 2, and 3, let's just all agree that Astralis is up here somewhere.
Yeah.
And everybody else is kind of like over here trying to get together and fight together as a team against this final boss of Astralis. Now, Chad, we've got under a minute. I want you to summarize this one and tell me who you think is going to win on Inferno.
Look, I think that both teams obviously have a lot of skill within their rosters, and they both do enjoy going for the force buy and low buy scenarios. But NaVi haven't given me a reason to doubt them in the online realms. You know, dropping them up last night, there's a blip on the radar. They've started things very strong. I think they can continue here against FaZe, who looking like they are actually going through some issues at the moment and not being able to find their feet. Maybe they're just being a little bit more relaxed. But with that in my mind, with that being taken into context, I think that NaVi are the ones who will be winning Inferno this evening.
Well, it does give them a second chance, at least on the second map of Overpass. And, of course, this isn't a series, so to say. This is 2 BO1s combined to make one ultimate Hunger Game BO1 situation.
And it is very important as well to make sure you try and win the games in regulation time, right? You want to be winning before we get to overtime.
Well, enough time from us, and now on to these commentator dudes who, yes, Seinfeld is rebooting, and we'd love to hear what Harry thinks about that.
I just love the theme tune, Trace. You know, it's iconic. I would do my own rendition of it now, but I don't want to scar everyone watching at home. So I think we're going to focus instead on the game at hand, Hugo. And I, for one, am, as per usual, just over the moon at the thought of getting into this game.
Wow.
NaVi versus FaZe coming up here, and you can see, you know, it's been a pretty turbulent beginning for one of these teams. That, of course, being the FaZe clan roster. They're currently sitting 6-6 as their record. NaVi up 5-1. They've had a great start to the season. I think they're currently highest win rate out there in EU. But throwing that out there without really doing any research, so you never know.
Yeah, let's find out at least. Let's see if they can prove it on the server, Harry. That's where it all matters. We're going straight into Inferno and straight to the B site for FaZe. They've already kicked this up a notch. It's going to be Edward and Flamey on this bomb site. Instant smoke down. We do have that rotate coming through because Electronic has pushed down the second middle, and Flamey, he's cut off the first. That's a bomb dropped in the center of the site, and NaVi are putting in more bullets by the second. Flamey with another, and Edward keeps them contained in the pool. The rest of NaVi set up for this retake. However, the retake probably won't even happen because FaZe can't pick up back this bomb. Flamey is doing so much work on his own, and finally a trade comes through, but it might just be too late. There's only 2 Ts left up. Make that Guardian, and he's got too much on his plate. Electronic comes in from that long flank, and there's NaVi with a pistol.
Yeah, that's going to be NaVi getting off to a good start here on their CT side. One thing that I am always a little bit worried about is I don't know what it is, but it always feels like NaVi, whenever I've seen them play FaZe for the most part, even if you go and crunch the numbers, right?
Yeah.
You know we love crunching numbers here.
Big fan of numbers.
You know, NaVi, they just have a kind of freakishly high success rate versus FaZe. Even if you think back to when FaZe were kind of in their prime, feels like NaVi a bit of a kryptonite for them. Of course, their ex-teammate Guardian on the other team.
It also doesn't really help that, like, from what we've seen from FaZe so far in the Pro League, it's been so like weirdly inconsistent. You know, they've been winning the games they quote-unquote should win, right? They got the 2-0s over AGO and Windigo, two teams that definitely shouldn't ever be beating FaZe in an online match. But the matches like that we've seen recently, these last couple of days, the split series versus Big, the split series versus the ex-Space Soldiers, the same story with Fnatic, who, you know, that was a really weird one because they got stomped and then they also came back and won one quite close. So it's been really weirdly inconsistent for FaZe, whereas NaVi, as said, 5-1 right now. They're only lost, dropping 16-11 on Inferno to Mouse Sports. So NaVi have definitely, you know, at least come into the season looking a lot, well, more prepared and better individually at the moment. But let's see if that drags it as we head into the first buy round here for FaZe. Obviously, a second round eco coming through after they lose the pistol, and now we've got, with that new economy, the $1,900 loss bonus for the second round. So FaZe will be able to buy up nice and early into this game. NaVi are not going to have much weaponry taken into account unless they rebuy all these SMGs, but it's more common to see a CT play bonus round because it allows for a lot more utility as well as the opportunity of getting a reset if you do lose a rifle round. However, far less now with only 2 on the board for NaVi before FaZe have guns. And here it is. We've even got the AWP on Guardian. Simple's gone for it as well. We've had a lot of upgrades here for NaVi. Only one SMG left up, and Simple, he's going to get tagged in middle. Nice start for Guardian to at least find some damage onto the AWP of NaVi. You don't want Simple to be off to a hot start if you are a FaZe fan, because obviously that's going to spell disaster on a map like Inferno. We constantly see Simple rotating in between the two sites, poised up in Banana, can easily wrap back towards Long. You have those quick CT rotates available. And in fact, he's going to be solo B right now. That could be a bit of a mistake, because while we have players pushed up in the apartments for FaZe, they also have the bomb up on B.
Yeah, and I always love seeing this Simple versus Guardian duel. You know, they were once brothers in arms, and then there was the rather turbulent exit of Guardian from NaVi. Some fun around that now. Can see FaZe going to be taking control of the top and mid here. Zeus is nearby, but there are 4 players for NaVi inside of this bomb site. So that's the Simple effect right now. He's over towards B. Might only have 23 HP to his name, but he's going to be holding it diligently for the time being. Bomb's gone rotating back towards Banana, and this is maybe worst case scenario for NaVi as Simple standing here in that B bomb site all alone. They smoke off the long angle, they get past Zeus, and now they're going to look to try and wrap through CT in towards this B bomb site and attack it from two positions at once, rather. Simple. Got to try and bide time. There's only 15 seconds left, so anything he can find is going to be so valuable. Instead, he gets swatted down at the very first hurdle. 5v3 and the bomb goes down. NaVi just going to have to back away and save.
Yeah, that early tag from Guardian actually made a big difference in the late round, because while Simple missed that early shot in through the ruins, if he wasn't tagged earlier in the round, he definitely wouldn't have died from one bullet from Nico and might have been able to escape and maybe delay that bomb plant, maybe even stop the bomb from going down and won NaVi the round. So even showing the 80 damage done by Guardian, despite it not being a kill, really incapacitated Simple. Hung out to dry on the B bomb site as NaVi lose another player on the exit to Carrigan, and now it's just 2 more standing. And that's a big start for FaZe as well, because 5 players alive, this AWP as well being kept. Definitely the start you want if you are FaZe. Rain, very careful, but not going to walk into the library. What do we have here for NaVi? Because again, we saw those upgrades come through in the 3rd round, which we didn't really expect, and that's going to really come back to bite NaVi in terms of the weaponry here. We have Edward on a FAMAS, we still have these M4s, and Zeus, he's going to be a little bit lackluster. In fact, he's gone full AFK here in spawn. He's back with a UMP, so a bit of utility on that as well. So not too bad of a buy from NaVi, but you definitely got a lack of AWP, which could come back to bite. Triple B set up to start things off here for the CT side, and 2 on short as well. Guardian's already peering down there. And Simple starting to get tagged up with the utility thrown in from Olaf on the banana. Flamey might have a bit of a gunfight to take as Nico looks hungry to attack. But NaVi are keeping up the pressure down on B. You can see them on the map just moving in, repositioning, flashing themselves back into the top of the car, trying to get some info. And in fact, we're even going to see Simple rotate because Arch is open and FaZe have crept into position.
Yeah, indeed they have. They've tried to sneak on in, but Simple might discover this little ruse. Rain going to get tagged up, but he has just missed the timing onto his old mate Guardian. You know, now wraps around in towards CT. Guardian pinned in, just going to smoke this off right now. Instead, trying to take this fight versus Edward. The timing going to be everything here. The bomb's up through Banana in the meantime, and that means that Edward has left this B bomb site to its own devices. And now as the bomb goes down, having Guardian here, having that man over as well towards mid in the form of Carrigan, that's going to cause so many problems for NaVi. They can't even begin these rotations. And FaZe staying true to the old saying, divide and conquer. They've certainly done that. Electronic going to get toppled now as well. It's Simple and Edward left up, and Guardian elusive as ever. I think they finally have his name and number, and he's changed the dress. So it's going to be second round on the board for FaZe.
I mean, that's such a fantastic round from FaZe, right? All it's on is Guardian forcing those rotates away from B and opening up the bomb site for FaZe to creep in through. Guardian doesn't even get more than one kill, but just his presence being in that Arch and CT spawn slows NaVi down, makes them aware of the possibility of a B split, and while they're focusing on getting him out of the spawn, FaZe just creep up Banana. So really nice work there from the T side. Good communication considering that round was, I mean, such a mess in terms of everyone being split up. Carrigan comes in with a couple of crucial kills as well, and even though they're exits for NaVi, they've still lost the round, Harry, so they can't really buy around this, or they shouldn't. Again, it is NaVi, and they won't. So 2k per player, we've got big loss bonus coming in next round, so it's going to be okay. They should have everything apart from that AWP. However, FaZe, this is their start to get off to a really strong T beginning. A third round on the horizon here if they can get rid of both Simple and Edward.
Still, getting rid of Simple is sometimes easier in saying than it is in practice. Going to be the fast play in towards A. It is Simple. Never mind, they make it look pretty easy. Olaf going to go and get rid of him. Carrigan chiming in with another. And, Electronic, 2 quick kills with the USP. He's trying to grab that AK, but his arm's just a tiny bit too short, and Carrigan's going to go ahead and mop up the remaining players, so he finds himself a early hat-trick. Edward left in a 1v2, and he's going to be pretty tempted to try and go for this. They have a buy in the coming round anyway. Edward. Well, that's one of those new knives. Is that like the budget karambit? That's what it looked like.
I think it's
if you
better
put
than
the
the
falchion and the karambit together. You ever see anyone with the falchion knife anymore? Remember when they brought that in?
That's awful. Awful knife.
I had one.
Really? Poor you.
I bought it.
Wow, what a waste.
I know. When it first came out.
Oh no! Anyone that buys knives when they first come out, I mean,
I know. And then it was the worst knife as well.
What a horrible investment, Harry. I mean, Carrigan's off to a great start this
Yeah,
map.
he's done better than buying a falchion knife on day one, right?
He's been saving his money, Harry, putting it into the big old AKs and coming up with multi-kills every single round. So, yeah, nice to see, obviously, recently offered the IGL role. We've seen Nico kind of take that up for the team, and we were hoping that would give Carrigan more room to improve individually and show off, and he's done exactly that. I mean, I think I saw 2 players on FaZe without even kills yet, so... Yeah,
he's certainly done that in this game right now. And he's done that in a few other games of FaZe, but I think that's where a lot of their inconsistency kind of comes from right now, is, you know, you have Carrigan having to play a much more frag-based role, and, you know, when he was the IGL, if he was fragging, it was great, because he can do it, right? We've seen a few games as well, if you think about it, where Carrigan was kind of one of the guys right near the top of the board. And in this team of heavyweights, that's no easy task. No. But back then, you know, when he's the IGL, there's a lot less pressure on him to do it. Now, suddenly you've taken Nico, who was one of the stars of this team, put him into that IGL role, and we have seen it, you know, that's massively impacted his ability to put up numbers.
Definitely.
And Carrigan, while he has times where he's fantastic, he also has times where he really does struggle. We saw that just yesterday. So, you know, maybe that's one of these issues that FaZe are looking to try and address.
And one of the knights in shining armor for FaZe yesterday was Rain, but this time he's on 0 kills so far. And Olaf Meister already going to be decked in the banana. Edward Just creeping his way out behind the Molotov. He will get back into safety after that early pick. And NaVi, a man advantage taken in this round. Good start. Nice shot through the smoke. And Zeus going to get tagged. It's the same story back for Nico. He gets sprayed in by one of these rifles, but he needs to be very careful because a Molotov could get rid of him instantly. Boost up. Nico's going to be flashed in. A great shot as well. Edward blinded, not ready for that one. We've now got this man advantage turned back around with a low player per side, and NaVi now having to split the defense. Flamey rotating back towards B. And again, this leaves long open. I think FaZe are so aware of this because we've seen them abuse this already, this map. And Rain, he's going to drop simple, finding his first blood in the server. A pretty important kill, pulling it back into the advantage of FaZe. They could easily split this B site from long if Electronic gives them the opportunity, but it's just a smoke down from mid. Rain going to go for a peek. Electronic spots his leg. But Rain doesn't exactly know where this close player is, and Electronic going to go gunning in. Nice shot. Takes down Rain. Now it is the B push, but we have 2 CTs on the defense.
Yes, we do. One of them going to be Zeus. He's on 7 HP, so he's going to get toppled almost immediately. Now it falls to Flamey to try and carry the torch, and Carrigan's going to extinguish it. So Electronic left in a 1v3. You know, it's not happening.
Seeing some nice mid-round calls from FaZe, like nice rotation so far. This has looked pretty clean. Like NaVi haven't obviously had a lot of buy rounds so far, but yeah, FaZe have been going for good rotates. They've been reading the setups well, and even when they walk into these stacks, like in this round, they get the kills. They only lose 1 player in it, and there we go. We're back into this. So FaZe 4-2 here, Harry.
FaZe 4-2 indeed, Hugo. There you go, mate. Just going to reiterate that one for you.
Thank you.
They're up into the lead, and the economic reset going to be coming in for NaVi. Pretty bitter pill to swallow. Likely we see like a partial investment perhaps around this. They showed that they love the force buy.
Next round is 3,400 loss bonus though, so anything here above pistols and armor is pretty crazy for NaVi. And okay, Flamey's got an AWP. Simple, Edward, and Zeus save. So this is going to really impact Flamey's ability to buy next round. The only positive is, if they save one of these 2 rifles, then it's not a problem at all. But you can never guarantee that. That's always a question. But hey, they can win this round, because if we think back to that one round where they had 3 USP players and 2 saved guns on Simple and Edward, it was actually 3 USP kills coming through, and the rifles didn't do anything. If we have that pistol damage as well here for NaVi, plus the rifles actually finding some success, maybe. Nice nade thrown over by Electronic, that was. Over the top of second mid, and that's going to land onto Rain, who was set up on the balcony. Pretty good timing from him. 60 HP left as FaZe are going to throw a couple of B smokes, only in an attempt to force rotations and utility out. They won't be committing just yet, but they do have majority of their players up towards this B bomb site, so looking tempted at least, and they might walk into this bit of a stack that NaVi have put up. It's Zeus, it's Edward, it's Simple, it's the 3 pistols, but Electronic is close by.
Wow. Simple. Gonna get smoked away from CT. They do discover Edward, and they deal with him at the coffins. Now continuing this push on in, and Zeus. Yeah, everyone's flashed, not just Zeus. It's a bit of chaos now, and actually gonna get frag. Electronic finds a quick double for up on the boost. Guardian gonna shut him down. It's a very hectic round indeed, and Flamey arriving to the party has gone ahead and picked up one. There's 25 seconds left, and Flamey still very much a threat here. That bomb. Oh, they almost lined up for him, but Guardian able to go ahead and lock in at that 5th round for FaZe. That would have been quite the round if you're Flamey. You know, if you get the collateral to win it, but
yeah, what a mess that round was.
They don't give out prizes for almosts. I mean, some places do, but not here.
At least you tried.
Yeah.
Participation reward.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
I have a whole bunch.
What for? Sports.
Just a little bit of everything. Yeah, mate, sports.
You tried, Harry. You just weren't very good.
Yeah, I put my name on the form. I never showed up. But you get the award still. Pretty good.
Well, Edward here. Push down Banana with his teammate. We've got a fast A play. Simple back on the AWP, but he's not going to last too much longer. He does take down Rain, but there's the quick trade, and Olaf is charging up as well with Nico. A dynamic duo. Electronic tries to turn the tide of battle, and he succeeds with 1 frag and a half. Nico down to 40. And now we have so many CTs here because they've wrapped in from B. Edward gets aggressive, and he goes after Guardian and shoots the shot, so he isn't ready to fire on back. And that's a free kill for NaVi, putting them back into the advantage. Nico's been spotted, and the plant does try to come in, but Zeus stops it, and Karrigan trades in the back of the pit. He's now stuck in a 1v2.
Yeah, just not meant to be. Edward able to find a double there to cement a third round taken back for NaVi. 2 players surviving as well. One of them going to have the AWP. That gets thrown over to Simple.
It definitely is a budget crown, but
yeah, right.
It's nowhere near as good.
It's pretty ugly looking.
Yeah, it's quite cool.
And the animation isn't very good.
I like the knife, but yeah, not quite.
Also, is it stained? Is that the skin for it?
Oh, things are getting hot.
Yeah, that was almost a bit bad,
Yeah.
but they managed to bail themselves out with the smokes. It makes it a good, fire extinguisher if you're in a pinch. Maybe in real life, probably not though. Wouldn't want to test it.
No.
I know you can get canisters that you put on a fire and they explode to put the fire out.
Really?
Yeah, they just seem pretty dangerous though.
Yeah, why would you fight
That's
fire
like
with
fighting
fire?
fire with fire, literally, Oh well, best of luck if you own one.
What, a fire? Anyone can own a fire, Harry.
Oh, well, look at this. FaZe Cloud, they've got 3 players, almost about to be 4 up here on Banana, and they're going to try and take control of this B bomb site once again. Now, NaVi, these solo holds haven't exactly been panning out. It does kind of feel like, once again, might have the wrong read, but Zeus, it doesn't matter if he's reading it wrong, if he's putting up the numbers. He does go ahead and shut down Olaf, so at least stemming this push for the time being. Now the rotation comes through, so second man going to be within earshot of this B-bomb site now for NaVi. FaZe. This is the mid-round call from Nico. The change up. They lose that first man. Now it's back here towards A, but there are still 4 players lying in wait for NaVi.
Oh, nice shot from Simple as well. He's even got another go at it. They haven't smoked his position yet, and while a flashbang comes through, Simple still gets another attempt, and he spots both players crossing. There's 10 seconds left for FaZe. This round is done. That bomb is stuck in the CT spawn, and even though Simple gets taken down, it's still not going to save the round for FaZe. They still have to hold on to these guns, and don't want to die after time either, because look at Zeus. He spotted Nico, and that's unfortunate. Gets the AWP, gets the frag. FaZe don't get lost bonus on one of their players, and well, 3 of their players, but one of them doesn't even save a weapon. 5-4 here, and NaVi calling out attack timeout. This is a good time for it as well. You've won a couple of rounds in a row. You want to try and work out how how FaZe are going to invest, because again, with 2 saved guns, it's very common you want to see T's just equalize their money and force buy around this, because no loss bonus, obviously. And it's very low anyway. It's only second round, so FaZe may as well.
Important thing to take a note of is it's been a slow start from Olaf Meister, currently sitting bottom of the board, 1-7. But it's been a good beginning from Nico, Karrigan, and Guardian. One kind of worrying factor for me there is you're missing 2 very key names if you want to talk about players who have been putting in a decent bit of impact early on for FaZe in the form of Raid and Olaf. But, it's still early days. Still time for these 2 teams to both come to life.
Oh, that nade going over again. Raiden just avoids it. That would have chunked a lot of damage out. And in this kind of round, you can bet FaZe want to take everything they can get. Do not want to be losing health like that. Rain's just waiting for anyone to try and cross mid, see if NaVi get overzealous. That Molotov's going to force him out if it does go through. Flamey wants to commit with it. Again, big old $600 investment. He's taking his time to think, Harry. Stay strong here. And FaZe have been given banana this round. NaVi not choosing to contest it. They've got actually for 2 players here, and this is fine because Simple's in the CT spawn and he's in a position where he can get 1 kill and fall off. Maybe, because Guardian's here also with an AWP. And FaZe looking to go for this full execute, so this smoke will cut off Simple. But he does have a Molotov to delay this push, and the same story with Edward, who's also on the bomb site. Let's see if FaZe can get anything here with the push.
Well, Simple's already gone past this smoke. They're going to need to throw a flash in first, and instead Nico tries to peek it dry. That's going to be Simple, allowed to find the man advantage. Now just ducked back into CT. Edward going to give up his position. They know that he's here inside of the site, but Carrigan's gone through the smoke down into CT. There's only 7 seconds. The time is very much of the essence here. They finally deal with Edward, but Simple is still nearby. Not quite able to deny the bomb plants. It's going to be a 3v3, but Flamey's already here and putting up numbers. Electronic going to drop rain in the meantime, and it's Olaf left in a near impossible situation. Simple's going to make it so, and that will be NaVi tying this out 5-5.
Very nice to not see Simple over-aggress there. It's very easy to, especially when there's 5 seconds left, try and hunt down that bomb plant, try and stop it from going down. But FaZe not only having the bomb going down behind the coffin, but having 2 players peeking, one of them with the AWP. So if Simple wide straight there to try and drop the bomb in that 3-on-3, he could have lost his team the round, but instead he waits, he delays, and he comes in with a couple more kills on the retake. So nice work from NaVi, especially Simple with 3 in that round, and now FaZe. Bomb plant does go down, but a single eco has to be called in. Tech 9 on Carrigan, in fact. Nade going Array. Rain again, back up on the balcony. All too familiar. And FaZe, I mean, with no nades here, you're just kind of hoping for the best. Wasting Navi's utility, wasting their time, and then trying to overwhelm them as a group. That's exactly what's happening here, I'm sure, but we've got the crossfire. Carrigan does take down Zeus at quite a range with that Tech 9, so that's a gun given over, and he's got armor behind it. This could be certainly a bit worrying for NaVi. But they do play for some info down on Banana, and Simple, he's going to be met with a few FaZe players coming on back.
Yeah, Simple is starting to get warmed up now. You can tell in these last few rounds the aim's been crisp and the decision-making even better. He's going to back away from Banana, and that is the perfect call to make. As you can see, that top left mini-map, you can see the FaZe Clan players back towards A. They come. Simple falling off and holding CT. He's going to be here in with the rotation very, very quickly, along with Edward. So even if now Flamey does struggle inside of this bomb site, he's gonna have support, but Electronic shuts down one. Carrigan does dispatch Flamey and Electronic down in the pit. He's certainly putting the carry back in Carrigan right now. Able to retrieve himself the bomb. 25 seconds left, taps onto it. They're gonna go pushing in. He takes the fight on a Simple. He knows that Edward's up close, and he does spot him out. He's gonna win the fight onto Edward, and now just Simple left to deal with, and Simple does dig deep and rescues the round for NaVi. It's going to be 6-5 with NaVi in the lead, but that was the eco from FaZe.
Yeah, that got scrappy towards the end, but fantastic work for Carrigan to do so much damage. It's just unfortunate that he, I guess, expected Simple to be pushing up in that 1v1 after he took down Edward. You see he wide peeked with a Tech 9 instead of just going for this late safe bomb plant after this kill. But yeah, really nice attempt from Carrigan. He does a lot of damage, he keeps the money low, and while he can't convert the eco round, this can go a long way in the future. Definitely expected Simple to be pushing there behind that box, but unfortunately not the case. And NaVi saving the day, or more like Simple saving the day. And him and Electronic have been starting off very well, and that's one of the things that, you know, while NaVi won almost every game they played, Simple kind of, like, in some of the maps, we definitely saw him have slow starts, especially on Inferno, right? If we think back to that T-side game of Inferno when he was playing yesterday, he was bottom of the board for so long until he moved over to the CT side and got that AWP. So to see NaVi start on the CT side, this is where Simple's far more comfortable. You can AWP far easier. You can, you know, rotate between the 2 sites and kind of just pick where you want to take your jewels. On the T side, it's a lot harder to find opening kills with those AWPs. Olaf is going to get mollied down in the Banana, and he smokes himself to save his life, but only to 30 HP. Simple, talking of aggression, he's gone down the apartments here, and there's no way Carrigan will repeat that. Thanking his lucky stars he didn't get killed. So Simple will back out of the apartments. Oh, getting hounded as well. I mean, there's 4 players on the A site right now. Edward playing a very passive solo B. He's so deep in CT, he has no info. So FaZe walking into a bit of a gamble from NaVi. If they do so commit. It seems like that is the case with them already setting up nades.
Zeus off this position over here at long. Goes down the incendiary as well, and that's enough to send FaZe away for the time being. See NaVi still with 4 players here. Might now start to rotate a few of these off, and indeed they do. going to be Edward, looking to be that first point of contact over here at B. Does have Simple with him, and actually they hedge their bets. They're going to put all 3 players here, leaving that one-man hold up towards the A bomb site, and this looks to be the picture-perfect call from NaVi. He's setting up. Simple, you'll be peeking from CT, then you got a man on the boost. Edward inside of the bomb site. But he's likely not going to anticipate this 3-man hold here. They lose their lurker as well in the form of Carrigan, so now the pressure falls to the remaining players. There's only 7 seconds left, and they've all been shut down. Leave it down to the wire. As a result, they get punished. Double AWP going to move into here for NaVi as well.
The reason I really like these gamble stacks from NaVi is Inferno is such a map where, say you go for that 3-man A setup, 2-man B setup, and then you get rushed on B and you lose your 2 players. That's the round done. You never retake. You're always saving. So why not throw all these gambles in, right? Why not commit to one site, you know, with 3 out of 4 or 3 out of 5 of your players, or even more at times. We've seen NaVi completely give up that B site sometimes. So yeah, this makes a lot of sense from NaVi, right? You don't want to retake anyway in a lot of these scenarios, so why not just put all your eggs in one basket? And yeah, it's working out wonderfully. They've multi-stacked A and B now this game, and come out trumps every single time. FaZe have yet to crack this nut that is NaVi, and although they've got 5 rounds on the T side, they're calling out a short tactical timeout. Trying to throw something else in, and FaZe had some really nice early T-side rounds at the beginning of this game, some good mid-round calls before NaVi started stacking bomb sites, but let's see if FaZe can dig deep once again. They've got pistols here, a bit of armor behind it, and some utility. This isn't too bad of a buy, but Flamey's already got a bit of a line of sight down middle, and he started to pluck them apart. Nico's dead. The utility at the bottom of mid, and Banana has really done significant damage. And yeah, I mean, look at these NaVi setups. They're constantly shifting. They're constantly changing. They're only just putting back their players in the A site. They expected an early B rush and had 4 players there. Now that's not come through. FaZe going to be setting up utility on A, and NaVi are here with 3 players.
We see a couple of Tech 9s. The rotation coming in for NaVi, but this means that Electronic and Simple here. That's a terrifying duo to run into. Have to hold their own if anyone could. It's going to be these 2. Oh, missed shot from Simple. Maybe speaking too soon. Electronic still unnoticed. Oh, he's going to get discovered by Carrigan now. So the bomb goes down. This was partial investment from FaZe. Flamey has at least made this retake possible. He's pulled it back into a 3-on-3. NaVi look interested to see if they can get back into this round. They know that they have no business losing this. Rain trying to catch the timing on these players as he waits in this smoke ever so patiently. He's gone through and he won't get spotted. Oh, picked up by Edward. Time's ticking down though. If NaVi are going to go for this, they have to commit, and they have to commit now. Carrigan and Olaf, that's it. They've done it. There's no time. Zeus gonna run in and die at the end.
Oh, he might save the AWP. That's really big brain play from Olaf. He throws the AWP. He knows he's low, so he's dead to that bomb anyway, and there's no way he's escaping because NaVi are playing exit. So he throws Carrigan the AWP, who hides in the back of the pit with full HP. FaZe actually bring it forward as well. That's a sick round. I mean, NaVi even had the read, right? They had 3 players. They had an early rotate off B and were playing like deep in the CT spawn instead of actually the B bomb site on Zeus. So the fact that FaZe actually get away with that is pretty crazy.
My only issue in that round there is, you know, you have the 3 players saving, they're waiting, they're holding for the exits. Now, you understand they want to try and take as much away from FaZe as they can. Zeus goes pushing in at the end there, though, and dies. And I would argue, you know, it would have been more beneficial to just let them get away with... Well, I mean, Olaf was dead anyway, if he tried to leave, right? Yeah. He was going to die either in the pit or pushing short into Zeus. Obviously, there's no way Zeus could have known that for definite, but... you know, everyone else is pulling back, playing passive. Zeus goes in, he dies, and now, you know, he falls. That's going to go ahead and just cause a little bit of turmoil here in the NaVi economy.
I think a big reason for that is the fact that NaVi have won 5 rounds in a row prior to that round loss on a pistol, and they know that FaZe, because they've won an eco round, they're going to have a good bit of money. So every single kill you get there for NaVi really helps in terms of trying to reset FaZe for the final round of the half. Like, if FaZe lose this round, Harry, they are screwed on everyone apart from Carrigan and Guardian. True. So let's remember that. However, if NaVi don't win this round,
money on the back of that just being a partial buy.
Yeah.
But, you know, with only 1 man surviving, I guess, in the form of Carrigan, it forced a lot of the buys in here. Flamey. Lots of players in his crosshair, but that's a little bit too much to bear. Now Electronic from down in the pit. has it all to do. So many players coming his way. This time he does manage to best Karrigan. Zeus goes barreling through the smoke, and oh my goodness, what a fantastic round from him. As he picks up a triple, Electronic chiming in with 2 of his own, and NaVi straight backing in with an 8th round. And actually now those kills from Zeus are worth their weight in gold, so it makes me eat my words.
Yeah. Goes a long way, right? And this is the Zeus that we had yesterday, just playing out of his mind for NaVi. He had some really, really strong games. I think it was on Inferno as well that we saw that. It was up against NIP, as far as I'm aware. So, yeah, nice to see Zeus come back into his own. And no, it wasn't the Inferno game versus NIP. He got 19 kills there. But either way, we're back into a fast B play here for NaVi. They're going straight into the bomb site, and Zeus is back again with another double. Edward even joins the fray, and Zeus, he's looking to finish off this round with a full house. He's done it. 3 kills there, 9 rounds to NaVi on the half. Really stellar CT side, but that's pretty split down the middle, Harry. Again, 6 rounds T side is not bad at all for FaZe. You should definitely be happy with that, and they can certainly convert this going forward into the second half, but pissed around certainly is going to make, well, not as much difference as it would in the past, but still a significant bit of difference. You don't want to allow NaVi to get up to that 11-6 start, especially on the T side.
Yeah, one thing to take into account, though, we didn't really get to see too much from Guardian.
T side.
Exactly, right? So now I'm thinking, moving into the CT side, we get to see Guardian in kind of the prime side. Taking a look at the leaderboards there, Hugo. Anything surprising? Anything to look forward to in the second half? Anything that needs to change?
For who, sorry?
Either. You know, what excites you?
They're switching sides. No offense, Harry, but that's not a great question.
Oh, I just wanted you to say, look, Olof's down there with 1 kill, Harry. He could do a stepping up a little bit right now. That would have been a nice one. How about that?
Ask me the question. You got the answer, Harry. No,
all right, let's. We'll readdress this later in the park, I think, by that picnic bench.
Hopefully, we'll have Trace to come in with some marriage counseling.
Yeah, he's going to have to break up the fight that's going to ensue.
Well, you can't really tell what's going to change, Harry, when they're switching to completely different halves and things are inherently very different. Obviously, Olof needs to get some kills.
There we go.
That would be lovely. He's on 1 frag and 13 deaths. So, yeah, Olof needs to frag. FaZe need to win this pistol round.
Great.
That's all I can give you here, Harry. That's all I can give you.
For me, interesting thing is Karrigan, top of the board. He's going to be sitting up there 16 and 10.
And same story.
107 ADR. He's looking absolutely fantastic. Can he keep that going, though, on the CT side? That's a big question. Another one would be Olof needing to step back up. You take a look over at NaVi. Top of the board right now is Zeus. What is this crazy world that we're living in? It is utterly fantastic. That's all I could tell you. And NaVi, I'm going to go ahead and set up early on with some nades up here towards the top of Banana. That's going to land some damage onto Guardian. Perhaps not as much as I was anticipating, but
interestingly enough for FaZe, they kept 3 players in the CT. Three players in the CT spawn at the start of the round until they waited to get some info. When it wasn't a B rush, they sent all 3 of those players to A to join up with Karrigan. Interesting there. Playing off of the spawns of NaVi and seeing when NaVi decided to go early. Simple going to show the bomb up on A, but died through the smoke from Edward. I mean, that's ballsy, but look at the balls on this man. They're huge. 2 massive kills. And NaVi have opened up this A bomb site like a can of worms. Zeus is going to catch this aggression from Guardian, but he won't be able to hit the shot. Guardian is bailing his team out, but he's being wrapped from the CT spawn. This arch push is coming from NaVi and Guardian. He's 1 step ahead of it. NaVi know that he knows, so they've got to be very cautious while moving back into this bomb site, and that's why they're slowing it down in the spawn, waiting for the reaction of Flamey, who's not watching top mid, and Karrigan's going to miss his shot, so Flamey gets another opportunity at life. Now, does he focus on trying to pressure this A bomb site, or does he just let Karrigan kill him in middle without reacting once again? That is a bit of a blunder. As now NaVi are caught in behind enemy lines, which does sound good, but is far from that. Edward may catch his spawn rotate. Karrigan was not ready for that. The bomb going down here. Edward's having a fantastic round, but so is Guardian.
Well, Guardian edging on forward, needs to try and continue this good form. Holding. Ooh, Edward is just clicking on heads. Simple as that. Now, Nico going to offer himself up. Of course, Edward doesn't get the ace. That'd be mental. Nico 1v1 at times tick down. There's really no time at this point. He's got to be very, very fast. I'm not sure if there's a kit anywhere, and Simple's going to find him anyway. So NaVi finding themselves the pistol here. Going to go up 10-6 and a chance to go 11-6 before we see that first buy for FaZe come in.
I feel like despite that crossfire that Edward and Simple had, Simple didn't peek because I imagine Edward really wanted that ace, so made a comm not to peek. Because Simple could have had that kill instantly with the last player with his back turned, but it's fine. He still gets it. Odds looking very good for NaVi after that pistol round, and I cannot disagree because this is how they can run away with the game with a full eco from FaZe and lots of SMGs for NaVi. This is the start they could have wanted. Zeus getting shot by his teammates. Never fun. They will be walking up towards B early on, and that's where FaZe have 4 of their players sat, so even with full pistols and no investment here from FaZe, you don't really want to walk into a quad stack. So NaVi going to slow down the pace, try and probe the A site as well, get a bit of information. And Nico's here at least, but this is it here for FaZe, and while he's at least peeking to get some information, he's probably going to be a pretty easy kill. Flamey's actually going to get dinked somehow by that shot from Nico, maybe even from his teammates. There's the kill. Edward takes him down, and now that's the A site open for business. The only question is, do they actually wrap B through Archway here? Because we've got that moto smoke down to cover off Library, and we've got the push up from NaVi in the Archway. They are still going towards B here, but this CT spawn push is going to make things a little easier despite the quad stack from FaZe. Oh, I think they've realized.
They've certainly slowed down, and yeah, Zeus clearing out the A-bomb side. That's going to be it. The penny drops. NaVi, they go back. Sadly for FaZe, they're not going to get the vanilla pistol victory today. You saw that happen just yesterday. It was something else.
On the B side of Inferno as well.
Yeah, Inferno's just the map for it. Not in this instance. NaVi playing it right. They go ahead and keep all 5 alive to boot.
And another player who's really come into his own today has been Edward. And he's now stolen that top spot from Zeus. Again, he got 4 in the pistol and I think 4 just there as well. So that's, stat panning, but always nice to see. He was playing great yesterday as well. We kind of had the unusual suspects. 11-6 here for NaVi. FaZe are back in with the guns here on the CT side. Their first rifle round, and Harry, I've got to say, it is looking pretty bleak. No Molotovs, no AWP, 1 kit. And again, if you lose this round, NaVi are instantly up to 12 and start to run away with the second half if you haven't already considered that to be the case just yet.
Yeah, if you're a fan of trends or something like that, like the most common result between these two teams has been a 16-6 scoreline coming up 3 times whenever they played Inferno. How exciting is that? So still a chance for history to repeat itself.
Wow, you really set this up to be a very underwhelming game, Harry.
Or a very dominant game from NaVi, or, a game that defies the odds. Let's wait and see, Hugo.
I love that smoke, whatever that is.
That's everyone's favourite. Smoked off Goblin Nest, and now the push comes in. Olaf up on top of Orange is going to have Carragher to help him out, and Edward's there to trade us. You say he's been having a fantastic game right now. Guardian from CT, they realise his smoke has missed, and now they go into the meat grinder. Olaf going to go ahead and shut down absolutely everybody. Up until this round, he had 2 kills to his name. And, or 1 kill, rather. Now he's going to be sitting on 4, so that's a 400% increase.
Yeah, nice crossfire there from FaZe as well. That was a pretty good setup, right? Player deep into CT spawn. NaVi missed their smoke, and that was actually the pool smoke. That was meant for CT, I think. I don't know how the hell you get it that far off, but yeah, that's what it seemed like for NaVi. Maybe just someone forgetting there, and that cost them the entire round because their attention's all diverted on the CT spawn player, which allows Olaf to get 3 kills on unsuspecting players with their backs turned. Can never miss your smokes, Harry. That's always a mistake. That's why you queue with me. I know all my smokes. I can't get any frags, but I know the smokes.
Yeah, I believe that. Maybe on 1 map.
On Inferno and Mirage, I'm pretty good.
Okay, there we go. 2
maps.
That's 2. That's more than I figured.
I know enough on every map. I just don't know them all, obviously, because I don't get enough time to play this.
Look, this isn't your FaZe Clan audition tape. It's all good.
Maybe one day.
I'm sure they're not listening. Maybe they are. But NaVi, can I go and take control of the top of mid, Hugo? They managed to get 4 players here, about to be all 5 actually as they group up in this portion of the map for the time being. FaZe going to start to rotate Guardian back into CT. He's just holding his ground here, keeping an eye on Arch for the time being. Smoke goes down, and now that's the option to wrap through CT available. Flamey up in the apartments. Doesn't seem all too likely that NaVi want to try and go for that. They spot out Guardian. They're going to try and challenge him, and now he takes that first fight and wins it. Nico, in the meantime, going to start to chip down at the encroaching NaVi forces down here in mid. Rain going to drop a double. In the blink of an eye, it's just Simple left up on 55 HP.
Oh, has this all gone wrong? This could have been Navi's chance to run away with the game, but in fact, FaZe are really giving us a match here. 2 rounds in a row, breaking the Navi economy and keeping 5 alive while they do so. Well, 5 alive so far. Oh, okay. Uncharacteristic miss from Simple. And that'll be FaZe really giving it to Navi here. That's now 4 pistols. And oh no, Simple died after time. Ouch. $400 to his name.
That is not a good spot to be in if you are NaVi whatsoever. And now, FaZe, important thing to note, Olaf and Rain both having quiet games at the start of this first half. Now starting to find their footing, now starting to come into their own a bit. Double kills from both of them in that previous round. And, you know, these guys waking up and NaVi not really being in the best spot economically on the back of Simple dying after the time. You imagine this is where FaZe start to chain together a couple of rounds, start to get back into this. Now, even if you scrape a bye together in this next round, fully code this one, it's still not going to be great, but let's just focus on winning this round first if you are FaZe.
Yeah.
They've already lost Karrigan. This leaves Olaf Meister in a pretty high pressure situation. The rotation does come in to try and alleviate some of that. You can see the effect this has had. That A bomb site now looks that much more vulnerable, and NaVi are looking to try and exploit some of those vulnerabilities.
Yeah, no real trade potential here from the 2 FaZe players on that A bomb site. Rain moves into big pit, so actually now he has somewhat of a crossfire, but he's still got to worry about apps and short while Nico's just focused on long. FaZe nowhere near rotating a 3rd player over, and that will change the second they see this push. Edward, he does have a smoke here. He's throwing that in from short, so that'll be a library smoke coming through as Range mows him down with the lawnmower. 3 frags. Na'Vi getting torn to shreds. Nico's moved into the site, and Olaf's even rotated off B to make matters easier. FaZe, nice clean round despite those early casualties. And what a huge spray from Rain as well.
Yeah, he's starting to get warmed up here, is Rain. Coming into this second half, he had 6 kills to his name. Now he's going to be sitting up on 11, so he's starting to find his footing here. And that's really what FaZe needed. You know, we so often to Rain as the architect. But he also needs to try and be the demolition crew right now. He needs to be just as good as blowing stuff up and taking it down a peg as he does as building up teams. Now, from NaVi here looking pretty limited. Simple relegated down to that MP5 as well as a result of dying after time in the round prior. Very limited utility here for NaVi. And this means, you know, you have to commit a lot more. You can't afford to throw in all these elaborate fakes. You can't afford to give up portions of the map you've worked so hard to get. Now, luckily enough, actually, they get handed control of top mid almost entirely for free by FaZe. Lining up the smokes and flashes ready to head on in, and now this push looks to come through. It's a wall of smokes down over towards short side while they wrap to this long position. Edward leading the charge, but there's a gap in that smoke, and Karrigan's peeking through it. His watchful eye is going to go ahead and spot both of these players. They line up for Karrigan, and now Nico chiming in with another. 2 men that have once been brains of this team combining and lock it in this round. It's Flamey now left in a 1v3.
And he's solo as well. Guardian's already on the angle, but Flamey, he gets a shot off. Guardian, a bit slow on the trigger there. 20 seconds left for Flamey. If he can try and take down Karrigan here before Olaf wraps into position, this could be great, but Karrigan not going to give him the opportunity. Moves back, knows that he can just play this clock and move in at the right time as now Olaf begins to pincer from behind. This plant will be able to come in because Karrigan, oh no, he's going to go for it. That could be a mistake for Flamey to take the fight because he's not got time for the bomb. He's off it now, and Olaf is not peeking. FaZe will win the round, Harry, and they really are back up into this game, one away from equalizing this scoreline that FaZe not dominantly had, but clearly had in that first half, followed up with a pistol and a conversion from NaVi. And that's not halted FaZe in any way, shape, or form. Nice 2v1 play there from FaZe, despite, Flamey actually getting himself into the round. But not going to be a win. And luckily enough that FaZe are doing well, because they used 3 of their tactical timeouts in that first half. So NaVi have a couple left. They'll be pulling one in right now. And this is probably a very good time for one as well, because, well, loss bonus is 2,900. NaVi didn't get a bomb plant, so a buy shouldn't come out here. But let's see what NaVi think. I see a gun on someone's back. I see an orb. Is that an orb? Yeah. I like this, though. Take a bit of a hit on someone, give Simple the AWP. Everyone can buy next round, so this isn't really a worry. And a bomb plant would make things very, very lucrative for NaVi. If Simple can get opening kills and these pistol players with armor can convert, this is not an unwinnable round, and FaZe have to remain aware of that.
Yeah, FaZe with 3 players early on over here towards the top of Banana. They're trying to take some aggressive control in this portion of the map. The only issue is Simple is here. If you're FaZe, you'd rather let sleeping dogs lie in that sense and just leave him be down towards T-Ramp for the time being. But Guardian does try and go toe-to-toe with the Beast and gets toppled. So that now is a second AWP handed over to NaVi. 1 AWP is bad enough. Now it's double trouble, and Olaf, he's got to try and burst that bubble. Simple, straight on through. He's going to go ahead and bail NaVi out. Carrigan on the other side. Ooh, Simple misses the shot. Carrigan not even aware just yet that he was up there. Rain chiming in with that frag onto the lurker, the former Flamey. Now the 3v3 retake ensues. Their weapons have been retrieved, and this is looking like a very good buy from NaVi. A great situation to be in, as there's no smoke for this long angle. Nico does have one. Now we're going to be throwing that in, but he throws it for Banana. So they've got to try and run the gauntlet against this double AWP setup between Edward and Simple. And at that point, you really don't fancy their odds. Time's ticking down lower and lower by the second. Electronic picking up a double very, very swiftly at the end. And NaVi straight back on the back of that solo AWP buy. Simple just hauling them through that round.
Yeah, that's what we say, right? Those orbs are so useful in the post plants as well. Not only having one of their own, but also picking up Guardians. I mean, that just makes the B bomb site even more unretakeable. It may be Electronic to get both kills in the 2v3, but still, those orbs can be a real beast to contend with. And FaZe, they're now going to be broken as a result, Harry. They've had a flawless half since that second round. And they lose one, and boom, this is the damage that NaVi have been doing to the economy. They're on pistols here. They've got to wait for the next. They could have brought up somewhat here, but this is definitely the right call to make of your FaZe. You've got a full buy coming up. Don't give NaVi, don't underestimate NaVi here. They are still a very strong team, despite this T side being a bit slow to start. Nico going back into middle here up against Simple. He might actually catch the angle, because Simple's watching Guardian's position, but the timing gets the better of Nico. Doesn't quite spot him. And he's got to care about the apartments as well. That's why he's constantly checking his backline, because NaVi can easily creep out that cart. Simple bides his time in middle. And oh my god, this is just a game of timing right now. Everyone peeking, everyone moving away. Nades will come over this A-bomb site eventually, but NaVi are about to burst and very explosively. Guardian peeks out with one, Flamey with a second, but Nico, he's kept things in check for FaZe Clan and pulled back the man advantage. Guns have not been retrieved, but they're doing so much damage. Simple swapped out his AWP for an AK, and that's going to keep him alive, taking down Olaf. But this long flank from Carrigan, I mean, there are guns everywhere. He can pick them up and give it a go.
Yeah, he's not shy on firepower. It's just time, and he doesn't have armor nor a kit to work with, so he's going to be at the full mercy of that AK on Zeus. The aim punch going to play into it. Simple and Zeus both battening down the hatches over here towards the pit. Keep your eyes on 2 Molotovs that currently sit on these players. That means Carrigan has to act very quickly indeed if he wants to pick this round up. And he does manage to find Simple, but surely he does not expect Zeus also down in the pit. Indeed, he does not. NaVi going to be securing themselves a 13th round here. And not all too dominantly, though. Only one man surviving. You're over on the T side, so it does matter less, but it still matters. It's still going to have implications here for this NaVi economy. Buy coming in for FaZe, and there is going to be an AWP out for Guardian, so we get to see that duel between Simple and Guardian once again.
Yeah, the last time we had that, Simple got flashed into Banana and killed him on an eco round with an AWP, so Guardian does not want to make the same mistakes again. Not that it was really a mistake, more of a nice play from NaVi. Flamey, oh, he's going to double peek this player. Rain's going to get caught, and he only gets a dink. That's the dreaded dink animation, but Nico bails out his teammate with a nice double kill, lining them both up in the apartments. Electronic still kills Olaf down on B, though, so now that really complicates things as Karrigan's got to give up on his rotation back towards A to help Nico and try and split this bomb site. But there's the bomb dropped, and now Zeus, well, he's coming in for the backstab. This is information that Karrigan can use to rotate back and try and join his teammate. Nico does see exactly where Zeus is, and this body is going to get really in the way of finding this shot. A flashbang also helps out as Nico is forced back, and more utility raining in from Zeus. Problem is Nico, he's only got an AWP here, not a rifle to spray through that smoke, so he'll just creep his way back through the apps. And oh, Zeus, I think he knows. I think he's very aware of the possibility. But the problem is Karrigan's still here in middle, so where do NaVi go? Their best option is to back off, but they're going to line up, and Nico gets a shot through both, even tagging down the second man. Zeus is on 14 points of health, and this round is falling apart for NaVi at the seams.
Yeah, Zeus already kind of considering just maybe holding on to this AWP. He's going to back away, and he's able to go ahead and find themselves an 11th round here. If he does hold on to the AWP, we can see a buy scavenge together for NaVi. He can drop an AK over. Electronic can buy one. Simple can buy. So you're going to have 4 rifles in play. Definitely not the end of the world. But this is going to come down to the wire as we approach the latter stages of this game.
I mean, we've seen NaVi win a round like this before with pistols and one saved AWP or one bought up AWP, so the fact that they can even get another rifle and Electronic and Zeus here is pretty good. I mean, even Edward has one dropped over, so this is actually a very strong buy for NaVi considering the circumstances, and it allows them to get into position to reset FaZe, who only kept 2 players alive in the previous round. NaVi chomping at the bit here, and you can see FaZe are definitely timid in this one. They've given up Banana, they've not fought this one. Guardians on that AWP up on long instead, so a very default setup here from FaZe. Nothing too extravagant. Not trying to pull in any aggression and risk throwing away guns to players who are maybe under-equipped, and that's kind of what you'd expect from NaVi here. While we've got the saved AWP, FaZe don't fully know what NaVi's money is going to be like right now. Guardian close to catching Zeus in middle, thanking his lucky stars. And the repeat comes in, but the shot's missed, surprisingly enough. Guardian, he will get away from this one, but now they know he's up on long, and the smoke goes down to try and cut off any kind of mid-execute from NaVi, but it won't come through just yet. Edwards actually burst out through short. He's currently the top fragger in the server alongside Karrigan.
Just a wild sentence, by the way.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, they're stacking up outside of this B bomb site, ready to try their luck. But you have to get past Karrigan and Olaf. Looking like they're going to try maybe wrap in through CT. No, wait, that bomb's gone back. So this is all a ruse. This is all pretend. As now the real play comes on in. Edward to secure the opener onto Nico. Guardian doing what he can from inside the bomb site here. Is going to continue to get pressured. There's only 24 seconds, so that chance that they had to wrap through CT should they have wanted it is now been extinguished on the back of that clock running down. Rain does see Zeus up on the hay bales and gonna find a second as well. Still alive and still causing chaos for NaVi down here in the pit. He's gonna flash Olaf. And now it all falls onto Simple, but this man very comfortable in the clutch. Not so comfortable in fire as he gets burnt to his death. And that will be FaZe finding themselves a 12th round in that retake.
And this is very, very similar to some of the mistakes we saw from NaVi when they played this map last night, right? While they actually picked it up, it was very, very late executes on this A bomb site, and they had to save, I think, 5 or 6 rounds in their entire T half. Like, that's not normal at all. NaVi, obviously, they did get the bomb down, but the fact that Simple has to dedicate himself to the plant instead of helping his teammate while Rain is doing some stuff like this, I mean, that just shows that NaVi, you know, far too late in the round. It works if you get the entries, but as you can see, Simple kind of can't help his teammate at all while he's dedicating that bomb plant. And as a result, NaVi, they lose a couple. They're back on pistols. That buy does not work out for them, unfortunately. And FaZe, they are really putting up a fight here on Inferno. a team that we've already hounded as inconsistent, like definitely what potential to be one of the best in the world, but also, coming off of some of their recent tournament performances, coming off of some of the things that we've heard behind the scenes for this team, the swapping and calling and leadership. I mean, this has just been a bit of a mess for this roster, and they really are bringing it to NaVi here in a very important game to try and get some points on the board. FaZe, they've split some series where maybe they shouldn't have. And NaVi have been extremely dominant so far this season of Pro League, so for FaZe to actually get a map or even take 2 away from NaVi would be hugely monumental in terms of trying to bring them forward to that final spot that many would expect to see FaZe in. Great utility down Banana as well. NaVi are going to get tagged up early. Double up here for FaZe, interestingly enough. We've not seen this yet on their CT side. NaVi had a bit of a go with it on Flamey, of course, but... Oof. I mean, NaVi are forced again here, Harry. That's one thing to note. This has come out of nowhere.
Yeah, they love a force by NaVi. And the issue is, if this doesn't work this time around, you're going to be giving it up to 13-13, having to take an eco. Then that opens you up to FaZe taking the lead, and your economy still isn't going to look great on the back of all of that. So, crucially, I think, if you're NaVi here, even if you lose this round, you need to be finding, 3 or 4 kills. You need to be keeping FaZe's economy down in the dumps. Here comes the push in towards this A bomb site. The smokes are in, and it's a bit of a wall of smokes right now. They actually back away. They send Edward forward to try and sell this fake. Now he also falls silent. The rest of NaVi, their eyes set on this B bomb site, going to start to push on in. Olaf and Carrigan here, and Carrigan finding himself too. He does lose Olaf, but Carrigan's doing everything right now. As he's dropped the bomb, he's bought so much time, and even then, he's going to find a 4th at the very end, so Carrigan is doing it all for FaZe. 26 kills right now. Best player in the server. And he's going to be the one who carries FaZe through to a 13-13 scoreline.
Yeah, and now they're going up against an eco at 13-13. I mean, this is prime time now for FaZe to attempt to close out this map. It seemed like it was NaVi's through and through, especially with that second half starting out in their favor. And what was this, an 11-6 scoreline for NaVi at one point. Oh, how the tables have turned. And there's the money gone for NaVi. Now, see, the reason they went for that force buy is, of course, they're there for eco on a round where they get high loss bonus and their buy will actually be better, but it's a later buy. They would have had a buy this round if they ecoed the previous, so that's the counter argument for it. So NaVi wanting more weaponry, but also costing up another round as a result.
Yeah, it's like they say less is more, but also
more is more. Yeah. We were having this discussion last night. All about context, Harry.
Yeah. No, most definitely. But anyway, Hugo, we're all tied up here, 13-13. Now, I would say, with how things have gone in these last few rounds, with FaZe being able to chain together 3, even then you look at kind of how things have gone in this CT half. They're, 7 out of 9 rifle rounds going their way.
Not bad.
So, it's a pretty decent recovery, especially when you think about the fact that this was 11-6 at one point in time in favor of NaVi. Now we're all tied up. FaZe doing an absolutely fantastic job on their CT half. And right now, NaVi haven't exactly shown that they have the ability to reliably crack this CT side defense.
A technical pause at 13-13 at such a crucial moment is never fun, but we will be back into this one in just a second.
I actually like having technical pauses, later in a game. Yeah, man, it gives you some time to take it all in. Think about the storylines that we can be building, Hugo. We just got 30, 40 seconds maybe to break down what's been so exciting about this game thus far. We wouldn't have had that otherwise. And now we're excited heading into this round. We're ready. We know the implications this is going to have. NaVi, they've got no money. They're just going to, oh my goodness,
no,
they've gone
what
for
are
the
they
force.
doing?
NaVi, never mind. They've thrown everything, all in the kitchen sink, get it in there. And now it is just simple with this AK. I mean, at least it's not on Zeus.
Yeah.
But then again, with how he's been playing, would that even be so bad? He has dropped off quite a bit. And it has been Edward and Simple more so towards the latter stages of this game.
I mean, it's all about the CT IGLs. Carrigan's been fragging like a madman on this half. I mean, the whole game as well. But Zeus, yeah, he really put the numbers up on the CT side. But Yeah, you always want Simple on this gun. Let's see what he can get it done with this, because it's a hugely important round for NaVi. If they lose this, they could lose the map, and it's already started off pretty dire. Flamed in the pit. Simple's going to kill his teammate. Really wants the kills this round, and frankly, it's probably not going to go too well. Rain decapitates him, and Edward not going to last too much longer either. That is an amputation of the brain for NaVi, and I'm not just talking about their investments. Yeah, 14-13, and you have no money.
That is just brutal. The thing I love there is just the idea that Zeus is like, so this is why we don't give the gun to Simple. Because he just executes electronic with it, you know. 14-13, and now that economic problem that we were highlighting, the thing that was such a big issue for NaVi is now exponentially worse.
Yeah. Here we were trying to justify that. Can we? I want to see that replay
nice
again.
Shot in all
yeah,
fairness,
great shot.
but,
Problem was it was on his teammate.
Yeah.
And actually, Electronic is very deep in the site as well. Yeah. He could have certainly won them the round, maybe.
That is a real. I mean, like some TKs really don't impact the round all too heavily, right? Like you actually, like a stray bullet catches some guy who's on like 10 HP anyway. But that was like a full HP Electronic in the back line, and then just headshot through a smoke inexplicably by Simple. So,
see, and this is the thing, we try
one of the things that gives away this game for NaVi.
I sit around, I'm trying to justify like some of these force buys for NaVi. You can't justify that previous force buy. That's just crazy. Like now, look at the hole that they've dug themselves into. They've got 4 AKs. Again, we know Simple doesn't like to AWP on the T side of this map. That's fine. But look at this buy. You're up against 14 rounds. You forced the last 3 rounds in a row. You've got nothing. And yeah, okay, when they work, they're so good. But to throw it in at 14-13, not that this buy is bad. I mean, you're up against map point, you know. You do want to win this in regulation as well. Whatever, this force buy is fine. But the last 2, well, that's where you really put a big question mark on this one. When it's fallen apart. FaZe, for the first time, have pushed down Banana this aggressively. We've got Karrigan close bottom and Olaf supporting with the AWP. Nice little camera shot there. Bit of an overview, but NaVi have been kind of avoiding this B site in the past few rounds, going for these force buys out through the apartments, and frankly haven't really been working too well. But they're back to it again, Harry.
Yeah, they're going to try this A-bomb site once more. And it is, you know, just the difference in that very measured approach from FaZe almost, and then this very, you know, high-octane, risky style that NaVi have been putting out. Well, they're going to try and set up once again for the A-bomb site. Very limited in terms of utility, as you can see. They've got these few smokes going in now, the flashbangs to try and open everything up. This push now coming on through. Going to get delayed by good utility usage here from FaZe. Karrigan wrapping it through. Banana going to cause his separate own set of issues, and now they have to try and flush Rain out of the pit, but they managed to do so. And in the blink of an eye, somehow, it's only Olaf left alive. 1v3. A lot to do, and he's just going to back away. So we speak about the difference in how these guys have been doing it. He's going to go ahead and play the economy game. You take a look at FaZe. They never really had a chance to build that much money on this CT side. That reset still looming, 14-14. Force buy prevails there, Hugo.
This is kind of what we were talking about before we went into this game, like when we sat outside earlier. It's like NaVi are the most aggravating team to watch, because that just worked, Harry. They're now at 14 rounds. They've broken FaZe's money. They've got a hell of a lot of cash coming through into this round. They've saved an AWP. They've saved weapons. I mean, this is just like the perfect spot from NaVi out of nowhere. They've screwed up the last 3 rounds or 4 rounds, and now they have this. And it's all worked out fine. So all this worry for nothing. I mean, for now, of course, because again, FaZe can somewhat buy here. It's only Rain who can't afford, so drop over from Olaf and everyone's okay. Everyone will have a weapon in this server. But yeah, this is NaVi being as annoying as they possibly can. These constant force buys finally working out. They're up to 14 rounds. They're ready to close out this game, but FaZe want to bounce back, want to reset at match point. And that's certainly an option here with NaVi not having a huge bank behind themselves. We've got aggression here from Rain, pushed down middle. The Molotov going to cut off Simple's line of sight. Nico's watching second mid to support. When this molly runs out, Edward's got a peek, and he may get the kill as well, but Rain flicks back. Even though he's flashed, he finds himself a frag. 5 HP left on the man himself, and Flamey going to run in to try and trade. He does that at the very least, but Nico's still stuck down in middle with Guardian. It's a 4v4, and Nico is not done with just a 1-for-1. He's going to try and cut off this last player, Zeus, coming up from the back. Nico does give away his position. He won't get the frag for it either. Simple's even dropped one of those B players. This round looks so good for FaZe, but it's falling apart.
It's Carrigan here. He's been the savior inside of this B-bomb site time and time again for FaZe, and he looks to go ahead and replicate those heroics one more. Simple does indeed shut him down eventually. The bomb plant going to go down now for NaVi. Nico and Guardian still up here for FaZe Clan. That 2v2 in the retake. Zeus on this AWP, trying to take the fight over towards Ruins. They need to trade this if he finds the first, if they want to have any hope of getting back into this.
No.
Oh, slow peek. Zeus misses it, but they're not quick enough to capitalize. Time still ticking down against FaZe, trying to bait this shot from Zeus. Guardian lands it, and now it's Simple. Over on the pillar, just has to stave them off for a few more seconds, and he's going to do all that and more as he mows down FaZe 15-14. It's match point here for NaVi.
And what a player to step up as well. 4 kills on Simple in that round. Even gives up the AWP to Zeus just to go and close out these last couple of kills. And NaVi, they're going to do it despite that aggression from FaZe, despite the constant pressure. I think a lot of that is, again, Nico missing that shot to catch Zeus from getting back in the banana. That cost FaZe a really horrible situation, because in the meantime, Simple killed Guardian on B, and that just opened up the site, and there was no flank being successful for FaZe at the same time. They lost both parts of top and bottom banana in unison. So NaVi, they've now done it. 15 rounds on the board, and FaZe, that's their money broken at the worst possible time. And that's why we have this last possible tactical timeout for FaZe. They've got to drag this to overtime if they want to continue here on Inferno. Otherwise, we're going to be heading forward to that next map between these two teams. And NaVi just on the edge of taking us to overpass right here. What do we have for FaZe? They've cobbled together what little money they have. 3 pistols, a couple of SMGs. This is desperation. We've not seen FaZe in this position this entire half. They have been a commanding lead over the CT side. An 11-6 at one point for NaVi. And they finally start to put it back into place in the last couple of the map. FaZe leaving the art trap open this round, and again, you've got to take risks when you've got this kind of buy, but that's a big risk to take because NaVi can exploit that. They can easily split into this B bomb site against these under-equipped CTs. FaZe get aggressive in the apartments. Rain and Guardian close, but Edward checks a spot, and he's got a teammate to help him out. Guardian only good for 1, and Edward trading it back opens up the A bomb site in a massive way. FaZe trying to set up in position, but Carrigan doesn't have the weapon for the range, and only Nico stands up for FaZe as NaVi are ready to take this map.
Yeah, he's found an AK. This bomb's still heading over towards the B bomb site. Maybe there's a way back into this for Nico, but he's got such a tricky terrain, such a tricky landscape to navigate, and Edward just goes ahead and hounds him down. NaVi closing out this first map, 16-14. Phenomenal stuff here from NaVi. It was Edward top of the board along with Simple in the end. Over on the side of FaZe, Carrigan, try as he might, just couldn't see FaZe through.
Yeah, that hurts for Carrigan as well. He put up such a great map, so many multi-kills on that B bomb site in the second half to keep NaVi out of that side of the map, but it is not going to be enough, Harry. FaZe falling short of the first map. Overpass will be coming up next, so join us after the break.